So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video on experiencing symptoms of spiritual progress. And what are the symptoms that you may feel where you may understand that, okay, maybe I'm progressing spiritually and that's why these things are happening. At least for me, this is my experience, which I'm trying to tell you. And if you have experienced these things, as the symptoms, do write in the comments, so at least I know that perhaps I'm not alone. There is this commonality that is happening amongst people. But this particular video really stemmed from my own experience last week, where I was extremely sick. I mean, it was one of the worst viruses I've ever dealt with. To a point where I had a fever of 104.3. And my wife was just about to dial 911. But, I just told her, no, let's wait. But during that ordeal, the last thing that I was thinking of was about myself. But the thing is, during that time period, I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, why don't you call the life insurance company and make sure that everything is great? There's no snags in there. Every I is dotted and T is crossed. Just in case if something happens to me, you can get the money and you can take care of, the kids and mom when I'm gone. And of course, my wife is like, don't worry, there's nothing happening to you, you're going to be fine. And I was, because when she gives me certain Chinese herbs, my fever just came down by like 4 or 5 degrees within like half an hour period. So that was a big thing. But I kind of realized during this particular ordeal that the last thing that I was actually worried about or scared about was dying or leaving. Because for me, I was like completely okay and satisfied with it. I was like, okay, if I'm going to go, let's do it. Let's go. I'm good. And that's where I just wanted to make sure that, my wife has taken care of the finances and, the life insurance is good. And I'm like, hey, if worst comes to worst, why don't you just make a Kickstarter campaign and make a video online, and I'm sure the people will, help you and raise money for whatever it is that you need. So that was, interesting week where the very first symptoms, which is not being afraid of death, actually, wheels in and you actually pass that particular test, I guess you can say. Because I don't even care anymore about death approaching or me getting old or me dying. It's actually something I look forward to every day. It's something that I want to progress to. But yes, if you ask me, do I really want to go right now? No, I don't. Why? Because I do not want to go as a rogi. I want to go as a yogi. Rogi is a patient. It's a Hindi word that means patient. Everybody goes as a patient. Everybody goes with some form of health, illnesses, and disease. Where a yogi is able to willfully let go of their prana, willfully let go of their life and progress to the other world. Because if you are able to do that, that means you have seen what is on the other side. You have seen the higher level of consciousness. And so it's a process known as Navikalpa Samadhi, where many have now achieved it. This is not some rocket science. This is just simple following of certain dharmic path that can lead to such a state for an individual. Then the second symptom of spiritual progression is not wanting to lie. Not wanting to lie. Why? Because there's 3 types of lies that we really deal with in this life. One is to protect ourselves from getting into trouble. We'll lie to our parents because we don't want to be punished by them, so we'll blame something on someone else or say this happened by this person when you're the one who did it. And we try to protect ourselves even in our adult life from other people, from the legal system to, not get into trouble. So we tend to lie. The second type of lie is when you want to protect someone, when you're not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, when you're not wanting to impact someone psychologically, you may lie. And the third one, which is mostly everybody's a victim of, including me, is lying to boost yourself in front of your family and friends or people. Because every one of us have been this victim of, boosting something that isn't really there. So for example, you're at some party, and at a party, the discussion of business comes in, and you know that your business is not doing so well. You're making maybe like $50,000, $60,000 in profit after expenses, which is well below average to survive, especially in US. But when you go and you sit amongst your friends and your family members, you actually triple that amount. You're like, oh yes, I made $150,000 in my business and profit, and things are going well, and I'm making this connection, that connection, while you're not. So one of the other symptoms is when you're amongst people and you are real to those people. Like, no, I've only made $40,000, $50,000 profit. I'm struggling. Let's hope that it gets better. But I'm okay. At least, hey, I have profits coming in. So you're no longer trying to project a certain image to people just to feed and satisfy your ego. Like many a times people try to sound smart, you look smart, they want to make the articulate, and intellectual conversations with people at parties when they themselves do not know what the hell they're talking about. But they have to sound smart, they have to sound intelligent, because that is a boost to you, who you are as an individual. Where if you are at a party and you actually admit that you do not know these things, you have never experienced these things. No, I have not done it. No, I have never been there. No, I have never been to this foreign country. And yet you only talk about what you have experienced. When that realism is there, when you do not have this thirst, when you do not have this hunger to present a certain image, that is a very, very strong symptoms of spiritual progression. Because for you realize, okay, so what am I going to gain by sounding intelligent and smart? What am I going to gain by making something up, saying that I know this and I don't know, yet I just BS people just for that one small tiny period where everybody can think that I'm intelligent, smart, and I have made it as a person in this life. Because at one point, one of the most smartest, intelligent men, women will die. They're going to pass away. What are they doing with that intelligence that they received in this life? Are they taking that intelligence with them? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We can make up a lot of things saying that you take some scars here from to the other life, or whatever you learn you take there. Fine, we can say all these things, but is it real? Do we know that? No, we don't know. So stop lying to the world, because you are actually going to be lying to yourself. And this actually even came from my teacher, my Jyotish teacher, Mark Boney. Because you must have also noticed how real he is. If he does not know a concept, if he does not know a certain technique, he's not going to out there say, yes, I know it, but I don't use it, or this or that. He said, no, I don't know. I have not used it. And nope, I have not worked with it. So I cannot give you an answer in that. And then, I have literally taken every single course from Mark Boney in the past 3-4 years. And every time somebody asked a question in his video class. He's like, I don't know. And it was just like such beautiful thing to witness that if this man does not know anything, he does not know. Because when he does say he knows something, people will listen. People will be like, okay, this is something he's saying he knows. He knows. And that's a great, example as a role model you can take, and that I have taken, and it just feels great. It feels good to just not, if your life is not progressing, it's not progressing. You talk to your friends. You don't need to impress them. They're your friends. Those are the last people you need to impress, because they will love you and care for you regardless if you impress them or you don't impress them. So just be real, and if you are being that is one of the symptoms of progression, followed by detachment. There's this feeling of being detached from everything and everyone. As much as you may love your wife, I love my wife, my children, my mother, but last week when I really felt at one point that I could die. I mean, things can happen. Even my wife's friend just 2 months ago died after giving birth to a child after 5 days. She woke up, didn't feel well, fell in front of her husband, and that's it, never woke up. So I was aware that, I could die. It could just happen. But I was not upset and possessive about the fact that, oh my God, I'm never going to get to see my wife again, or hang out with my children, see them grow up, see them get married, or at least be at the funeral of my own mother. Oh, I'm never going to get to do these things. And that's something that I was just, it wasn't impacting me. I wasn't psychologically affected by that. And even with anybody that I know, that I interact with, there's this feeling that you are this thing in a biomechanical suit, and we're interacting in this particular dimension, this video game, but you are something else, and I'm something else. So even if a neighbor comes to me and says hello, I'm like, the first thing that I'm thinking of, what past life karma I have with this person that they came and said hello to me. And I'm just looking at them not because they're this neighbor, is that, who are you? Who is this person? Because whomever you interact with in this life, you have interacted with them in past life. Maybe the nurse who takes care of you in the hospital may have been your spouse in one of your past life who dedicated her life. Or maybe you took care of that nurse as your spouse when they were sick, so now they're just returning the favor by being a nurse and serving you in this life. And the other part of the detachment that comes in is detachment from the material things, material world, the material aspect of life. For example, just not feeling anything with modern entertainment. Like for me, I work, 13, 14 hours a day. And in that time period, I need some form of entertainment. I need something to distract me, whether I play video games, whether I watch something. And usually my time is spent searching for something that I want to watch, than me actually watching. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh God, time to get back to work. And that's what happens. Like, you're not finding that attachment in those worldly pleasures. Like, for example, just a few weeks ago, I've had it with my car lease. I couldn't deal with, even though I have another one still left. But every day I saw this big bulky thing, and I'm like, it's not working for me, I'm working for it. And I have no interest anymore to drive this brand new thing. And I paid actually early termination, even though it was going to be terminated in February anyway. I just couldn't take it. I'm like, here's the money, take it back. I don't want it, because I want to feel enough free time where I no longer have to work to pay that particular car. Because there's a saying out there by philosophers and spiritualists that what you want to do is you want to eat less, sleep less, work less, and meditate more. In order for you to really, really find that pure entertainment that you want and the joy that you want. So for me, one of the other symptoms that I've seen is that I have no interest whatsoever in anything material out there. I am doing it just because of the fact I'm a householder and I have to have a car to go from one place to the other. I have to buy certain things to keep my family entertained. But for me, it does not do anything. For me, it does not fulfill that particular thing. For me, what fulfills me is a t-shirt and pajamas. That's the best thing that I love. If somebody gives me a gift of a pajama and a simple t-shirt, that's what I love. That's it, because I like to feel light. And I like to just be in my own world. But when you are fully materially involved in things, that I have to have this, and this particular success in order for me to make it, then of course you are quite far away from finding that, progression in life. For me, to be honest with you, I don't care to be successful. I don't care to be, I don't want to make it to some level. I don't want to be successful. I don't want to be out there building something new because I want to be successful. The only reason I do this is because I'm a householder. The only reason I do this is because I have to provide for my family. Otherwise, that interest is not there. I am okay, I'm happy, I'm satisfied with where I am. I don't need to do anything more. Why? Because the only reason I wanted to do something more is because I want the world to see it. I wanted the world to appreciate it, but that need is no longer there. I don't want to impress the world to get something. The only time I want to do something is if inside me here says, yeah, do it. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. And then the last but not least, one of the symptoms that you will see is that just wanting to be closer to nature and contribute to nature. So when a person is dying to be in a place where they're near a farmland, there are lots of trees or forest area, they want to be in a desert area, because desert itself is a beautiful part of nature. Like if you ask me, my ultimate goal is to live in Sedona, Arizona one day. But for me, I've been wanting to move away from this jungle of East Coast DC, where everything is a rush, everything is actually material politics. And I want to be just in a quiet, peaceful place. And I'm trying to make that happen right now, and let's hope it does. But for me, I really just want to be sitting like this in the middle of the day, but I want to be seeing nothing but farmlands, grasslands, mountains, lakes. That's all this visual eye wants to experience. And I want to smell the trees. I want to smell things out there. So once you are doing that, and also like contributing, like I am actually like just eagerly wanting to like plant things in the ground. I want to plant trees. I want to see what farming is like. Being on a tractor, that may be one of the nuances now for me. But these are the set of things that I have seen within me as a change, which I do feel is a part of the progress that I have taken by doing regular yoga and meditation. And it's so strange also that before my sickness occurred, I stopped doing my Kriya for like 3 days. For some reason, I was working so much that I just completely forgot in my mind and in my brain. And next thing you know, the sickness hit. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I do it? But again, that's just another discussion, because I longed for doing it. But for some reason, something was just stopped me. And maybe I had to go through this sickness. So, these are my particular reasons for spiritual progress. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe below so you don't miss videos like this or on astrology. And if you want to know about your own astrological chart and information, which is Vedic astrological information, you can check out the links in the description. Otherwise, we'll see you later with a new video on series. But do let me know if you guys feel this particular type of symptoms within you. So maybe I can see that, okay, these are very common symptoms with people, and it's not just me who is experiencing these. Okay, bye-bye.